Hello everybody, welcome to Roy Meets World presented by Attractions Magazine. My name is Roy and this is the 20th episode of Roy Meets World. Yay! Confetti and balloons and fireworks! I'm so happy. So I thought a fun way to celebrate 20 episodes would be to do a Q&A video because I started doing videos for Attractions back in March. But I kind of jumped right into it, right? I just started making videos, going to the parks, doing challenge videos, scavenger hunts. And you guys don't really know me that well. I do try to answer questions in the comments, but I asked you guys to ask me questions and you did ask me questions. So let's do that. I'm really excited. First of all, my name is Roy. I'm 25 years old and I live here in Orlando. I have worked at the theme parks. I currently work at Disney and I've previously worked at Universal. This is my cat, Farley, who's clearly very into this. So I've always lived kind of close to Disney. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida, which is up in the panhandle of Florida. And I went to college at the University of Florida, which is in Gainesville, which is about 2 hours north of Orlando. And in my final senior year at UF, I got an annual pass with a bunch of my friends. And we just came down to Disney just whenever we had like a free weekend, which usually ended up being like 2 times a month. Before that though, like my family from Pensacola, we have a family reunion in Orlando every Thanksgiving, okay? So we would always come down every single year, and every year that we came down, we would always go to a theme park, and it would always rotate which theme park that we went to. One year would be Magic Kingdom, one year it would be Islands of Adventure, one year it would be Universal Studios Florida, the next year would be Epcot, but we would always go to a theme park. So that kind of tradition is kind of rooted in me. So theme parks have just always been a thing. So, but my theme park journey, I've worked at Universal and Disney, and at Universal I worked at Disaster back when that was a ride at Universal Studios, and I worked at the Hogwarts Express, which was the train between the Wizarding Worlds, and at Disney I worked at Dumbo and Barnstormer, and then I worked at Jungle Cruise for about a year. So that's kind of like a brief history of why I'm here and what I've done. So now let's answer some questions. Tito's Vlog World, who by the way Tito comments on every single one of my videos, and he is such a cool guy, so thank you so much Tito. He says, Roy, what type of vlogging camera are you currently using? So my little camera that I use in the parks is my Canon SX710HS camera. It's a little power shot little camera, just can go right in a pocket or right in like a little pouch on my belts. And that's what I use in the parks, and it works really well for me. I've had it for about 2 years now, and it's getting like a little bit wear and tear on it, so I'm probably gonna replace it soon. But that's the camera that I use, and it has really cool image stabilization. It's like really convenient, and it's a lot better quality than just like using my phone. And then I have a big camera here, which I'm currently recording on right now. This is my Canon Rebel EOS T3i. It's in the Rebel series, and it's a T3i, and I think they're on like the T7i now. So it's kind of an old camera. I've had it for about 5 years, but the quality is pretty good, I think, and I like it a lot, and I depend on it for like stuff like this, where it's a little bit more stable, and I can set it up on a tripod. Because the quality is going to be like a little bit better than like a smaller power shot. Okay, so this is kind of a complicated name. Hopefully I get it right and I don't butcher it too much, but Joao Menezes wanted to know, do you have favorite snacks / meals from the parks? And yes, I do enjoy snacking in the parks a lot more than I enjoy getting like a meal, because when I was a pass holder like 4 years ago, we would always bring like packed lunches kinds of things, so we would not have to buy food in the park, but we would inevitably have to because we would usually stay like 15 hours. But like now that I live so close, I can kind of go and leave when I want, so I'm not kind of confined to have to eat there. But I do like to snack. So at Animal Kingdom, there's the Flame Tree Barbecue restaurant, and there they have a very, I'm sure, so healthy barbecue melted cheese fries little side, and it's about $6, so it's half as expensive as like a $12 burger would be. I like that a lot. I like, you know, Dole Whip like most people do. I like in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot, there's a lot of little like $2 sides of like rice and miso soup, and you know, if you get one of each of those for like $4, that kind of fills me up. Treva London says, Roy, can you tell me if the parks are usually super crowded the first week of January? And no, they are not. They are actually very not crowded the first week of January. You can find this on any like internet theme park crowd calendar, I'm sure. but the busiest times at the theme parks are going to be during the spring break season, the summer break season, and then the Christmas winter break season. So those are going to be when it's going to be really, really busy at the theme parks. Then there's like days kind of intersplice. Any day that's just like a holiday, that weekend that surrounds that holiday, like President's Day, Easter, you know, that's always going to be really busy. But the most non-busy times are going to be the beginning of January, right after New Year's, and then like the very beginning of April, the very like end and all of September, the beginning of October, then like the beginning of November and the beginning of December. And then anywhere kind of like not in those times are very busy. And Disney specifically, they started rolling out tiered ticketing. So the busier times are going to be more expensive and the less busy times are going to be less expensive. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of even out the busyness. Giovanni Sapero, again I hope I got that name right, wants to know what is my favorite ride at Universal and Islands of Adventure. At Universal, my favorite ride is going to be E.T. because I love practical effects and animatronics, and E.T. is like, you know, a day one attraction at Universal. So I like that. Yeah, I have a lot of memories of that as a kid. And then at Islands is going to be the Forbidden Journey Harry Potter ride because I love Harry Potter. And Forbidden Journey is just such a unique ride concept. Like the strong arm technology that they use on that ride, intersplicing the screens with like the real sets and effects and stuff, I think is just so cool. Athletic Gamer Fan 5000 wants to know which is better, Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach? Now this is interesting. Most people actually do prefer Typhoon Lagoon because it was first and it has really incredible theming and it's very good for families and it has a really awesome wave pool. But I actually like Blizzard Beach more than I like Typhoon Lagoon. I think because it's a very unique water park. So they have rides where you use toboggans and you go down on your stomach and you're just sliding on these little mats. I think that's really unique. They have toboggan races and they have toboggan just slides. They have a gondola lift that you can take up to the top of the mountain. I think that's really, really unique and cool for a water park. Wow, it started to rain kind of hard. Matt Clark wants to know if you could live inside one icon in any theme park, Cinderella Castle, Tree of Life, Universal Globe, etc., which one would it be? So I've actually been inside the Cinderella Castle Suite and it's actually very, very small up there, and the view that you get out of the windows, you can't really see much. You kind of just, you look straight down because of the spires and how the castle's designed. So really the luxury of staying there is just saying that you've stayed there. So I think the icon that I would actually stay in would be the lighthouse at Islands of Adventure because I can get like a really cool view of everything from up there and it's right at City Walk. Elvis Spencer wants to know two things actually. If you could only do one ride or show, what would you choose? And what is your favorite theme park memory with your family and or Brennan? So I'm gonna try to answer both of these. If you could only do one ride, now is this like do one ride, like if I was trapped in a ride, what ride would I be trapped in? Or is it like if I could do a ride for fun over and over, what would it be? Because if I was like trapped in a ride, then I'd want to be trapped in Living with the Land, because they grow food in there and I could just like eat all the food and survive. But if I could only ride a ride for fun, it would probably be like Thunder Mountain or Jungle Cruise, just because those rides are like, they're outside and they're a little bit longer than other rides and there's a lot more to like experience and see. Every time that you ride it you could hear a different joke or you could see a new effect or a new detail, because Disney is just so good with those kinds of details. It'd probably be that, you know, just something that I could experience over and then just see something new every time that I did it. And also, what is your favorite theme park memory with your family and or Brennan? So my favorite memory with Brennan probably has to be when we went to Disneyland a year and a half ago, because I'd never experienced a new theme park in that kind of a way. And just like the fact that I got to like share that with her, that was like really fun and special. She had never been to Disneyland or California Adventure either. So just how we got to kind of walk around and take in everything that was new and compare it and contrast it with everything here, that was just very generally memorable. And then favorite theme park memory with my family. Well, as I like talked about earlier, how we would go every single year is like a tradition at the theme parks. I remember like the early stages of Universal and of Islands, so I remember like confrontation and all that, kind of barely, because those have been gone for like a long time. But I do remember at Islands of Adventure going to Jurassic Park and me being absolutely terrified to ride River Adventure. So my brother did it instead of me, and he's a couple years older than me. But I was really small. I don't even know if I could have ridden it. I don't even know what their height requirement is, but I was very small. And I waited for him to get off the ride, and then in the gift shop they have a little like, oh, it's actually right there. Hold on one second. Okay, I totally forgot that I had this. This makes me so happy. This is so old. Wow. So after my brother got off the ride, they had these little lanyards that said, "I survived Jurassic Park the ride," which is weird. It wasn't called River Adventure back then. It was called Jurassic Park the ride. But he found his name on one of these little lanyards, how they have like your names at theme parks, you know, like your name on a mug or whatever. But he wouldn't let me get mine with my name on it because I didn't go on the ride. So my brother bullied me into getting a little, hold on, "I survived Jurassic Park the ride, Florida," because he wouldn't let me put my own name on it. Adam Gleed says, "Hi Roy, what attraction that is no longer in the parks do you miss the most and why?" And that is 100% confrontation, because I think that was one of my very, very first theme park rides that I've ever ridden, and it was so scary, but it was so immersive and well done. No other ride has like come close to comparing to like the quality that that ride was. Like you don't get that kind of immersion in rides anymore. Like the practical effects, the fire, the pyrotechnics, everything, the animatronics that like that ride had were so cool, and I miss rides like that so much. Social Mouse says, "What is your go-to when it rains in the parks?" Like, what do I do when it rains in the parks? Or like, where do I go? I don't know. You know, I usually just hop on my phone and just find like the next fast pass for like an indoor ride, like Haunted Mansion, those kinds of rides, or that's when I do something like Hall of Presidents or Carousel of Progress, something where you can get inside that is a very high capacity of people, where you know that you can get inside, you don't have to wait in any kind of a line, and you can just go inside and just kind of wait it out. Like those kinds of shows are actually perfect for that, because if it starts to rain, you go inside, by the time you're out, it'll have stopped raining. I know a lot of people are gonna like run for like the gift shops and the quick service restaurants, but I wouldn't do that. They get like really, really crowded and slippery, and when it rains, people get kind of like mean and angry with that kind of stuff. So that's where I would go. I would go to the high capacity shows that are indoors that I know I can get a seat and get away from the rain. Alright, G-Pile wants to know, how does Disney's Memory Maker work? Coming to Disney from the UK in September and looking at using this. Love your shows. Hey, thank you. So Memory Maker, I think, is about $150 right now if you buy it in advance. And what it is that Disney just gives you downloads of every picture and every ride photo that you get in any of the parks during the duration of your stay. But according to Disney's website, Memory Maker includes unlimited digital downloads of all your Disney PhotoPass photos and videos, select attraction photos and videos, select character dining photos, discounts on prints of your photos, magic shots and digital borders, and magic shots are where they insert Tinkerbell or Stitch into your photos. So Memory Maker is really, really worth it if you're coming for kind of a lengthy amount of time and you just want Disney to cover your pictures for you. So every time that you want a picture and there's a PhotoPass there, they'll scan your Magic Band. Every time you get on a ride, you touch your Magic Band. They even have rides now, I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Pirates of the Caribbean and Frozen Ever After, you don't even need to touch your Magic Band. Like it senses your Magic Band when you ride the ride. So that's what Memory Maker is. It just gives you your digital downloads of rides that you ride and then PhotoPass pictures that you take in the park during your stay. Matt Watson wants to know, if you could design and add your own ride to an Orlando park, what would it be? So without a doubt, it would be a Quidditch broom roller coaster at Universal Islands of Adventure. I have been wanting that for so long. So if you're familiar with the Tron roller coaster, how you mount these bikes and stuff, I would want it to where you mount a broom and you just fly around a realistic life-size Quidditch pitch, and you fly around the goalposts and it dips you and it can take you like underneath the stands and like, or I don't know, I think that would just be so cool, and maybe they could like insert like animatronics of like a snitch flying past you, or like a quaffle whizzing past your head, or like a bludger. I don't know how that would work with a roller coaster, but like something like that would be so cool. Kelly Araujo wants to know, what is your first theme park memory? Also hashtag needs more Brennan. I agree with that hashtag. But what is your first theme park memory? Probably gonna be riding Confrontation at Universal Studios and being very scared, and then also riding Jaws at Universal and being very scared, and then going over to Islands of Adventure, I think the next year, and being very scared over there too. I was just very scared as a kid. Joseph Fleming wants to know, have you ever been to Horror Nights? Favorite year, favorite icon, favorite house, favorite scare zone, favorite Bill and Ted show? So I have been to Horror Nights, but not enough to have that much of an opinion on all those topics, honestly. I went a couple years ago with my friends, and we just kind of casually walked around. This was before I worked, before I lived, no I did, this is right when I moved to Orlando, but it was before I worked at any theme parks. And I went to Horror Nights, and I got there like really late with my brother, and we kind of just walked around. We got like a beer here, we kind of meandered through like the scare zones and went in a couple houses, and we rode a bunch of the rides. And we didn't really do Horror Nights that well, I guess. I do want to have a better idea of Horror Nights and give a bit of a better review and thoughts on it, because I really don't know. I haven't really been. I've been to Howl of Scream at Busch Gardens, and I did all the houses there. That was fun. Todd says, staying at Cabana Bay this fall, can't wait. What is your favorite restaurant at Universal Orlando Resort, USF, IOA, and City Walk? My favorite restaurant at Universal Studios Florida is probably going to be the Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley. And at Islands of Adventure, my favorite restaurant is going to be the Three Broomsticks in Hogsmeade, because I really like Harry Potter, and their food I think is really nice compared to like the burgers and like the pulled pork and the fries and stuff that you get like at the other kind of quick service places. But at City Walk, I love Cowfish because they have really, really unique food, and I like it, and it's a fun little sit-down restaurant. Ebony Dunn says, after seeing the Magic Kingdom scavenger hunt episode, I have to ask, when and in what theme park do you plan to do another scavenger hunt? Well, Ebony, I just put up a Universal scavenger hunt episode. Where were you? What's going on? I'm kidding. I don't know where my next one will be after the Universal one that I put up last week. Probably Disney again, somewhere over at Disney, just kind of depends what I'm feeling. Probably gonna be Epcot though, or Hollywood Studios. But I do have a plan for Hollywood Studios actually in the coming weeks, so probably Epcot. My camera battery is about to die, so let's do some really rapid fire questions here to end the video off. Otto Caldwell wants to know, what is your favorite ride at Disney and why? P.S. RMW is what I live for on a Tuesday, please keep doing them. That is so nice, and I will keep doing them. But my favorite ride at Disney is gonna be Peter Pan's Flight, because that is actually my first memory at Disney World, where I went to Disney World and I was afraid of literally everything else in the park, but I rode Peter Pan's Flight and I loved it so much, so it has become a personal tradition to me to ride that ride every single time that I go to Magic Kingdom, and I still, to this day, try to abide by doing that, by riding that ride every day. Not every day, but every time I go, you know what I mean. The Disnerd wants to know, if you could have been on one TV show produced at UO, what would it be? And that would probably be Slime Time Live at Nickelodeon Studios, back before that was Blue Man Group, next to what is now Despicable Me. And I do remember touring Nickelodeon Studios back when it did have Slime Time Live and like all that stuff there, and getting not a show, I didn't get to see like a show, but we toured the studio. Exploring Tampa wants to know, the best beer in Orlando. I don't know, I'm not really a beer guy much, but I've been trying to extend and evolve my tastes in that kind of a department. So that's something I might have to get back to you on, but I don't know, I usually just try stuff and I enjoy it. In my last episode where I went to Universal, I tried the Deathly Hallows 3-layered little black and tan beer, and I like that a lot. And then finally, Brittany Tuttle wants to know, do bears eat beets? And you better believe they do. Okay. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Like, I really wouldn't be able to do it if there wasn't like an audience that was interested in this kind of stuff, and hopefully my types of videos that are maybe a little bit more informative but also fun, and you know, the challenges, those things that I do, hopefully that hits home with a lot of people and you guys like it a lot. So I'm excited to make more of these types of videos soon, more Q&As maybe a little bit down the road. If you guys want to know more about me, then I'm totally okay with that. But in the meantime, this is Roy Meets World. I do videos every Tuesday right here on the Attractions Magazine channel. So be sure to subscribe to Attractions Magazine. Click the little bell down below to be notified of when we upload stuff. We have a lot of fun stuff here that gets uploaded between Vacation Kingdom and Early Night Live, and As Dreamers Do, and the show, and the Weekly Rewind. There's just so much fun stuff on this channel, guys, and I really implore you to be a fun part of that just as much as I am. But I will see you guys next Tuesday with something really fun. And until then, I will see you guys later, and you have a great week.